Hello, West Ham Network. It's Holly, and I'm here with your Hammers headlines for today, Wednesday, the 23rd of July, run in association with KUMB.com. Now, please take a moment, if you haven't already, to give this video a little thumbs up, and don't forget to leave a comment as well with your thoughts down below. Now, our three stories for today include West Ham being forced out of the stadium for a set period of time, potentially, a target that is in discussions with Fulham, and a new addition to our coaching and player development team. So without further ado, let's get straight into those headlines. West Ham Network for your first story. West Ham are being reported to be at risk of having to move out of the London Stadium temporarily if the 2029 World Athletics Championships come to London. So the funding's been granted, which, if it progresses, could cause a big old headache for the club. So the current contract that there is around the stadium means that if the London Stadium, are basically approached for global sporting events, that they must grant precedence to them, a limited number of them, but nonetheless, this would be a big one, essentially meaning that the World Athletics Championships would take priority over football matches for a set period of time. So what does this mean for West Ham? The event would overlap with the beginning of the 29-30 season as it currently stands in September, meaning if the preferred date goes ahead, this is going to be a big old issue for West Ham. However, it is being said as well that they are presenting alternative dates in July and August. Last time, when the Championships was back in London in 2017, it brought more than £100 million for the city. So this is something that the powers that be are going to be taking very seriously. London Stadium is their preferred option because, as we know, it can still be used as an athletics ground, despite needing seating to be reconfigured, moved back to its original kind of position, which would take a number of days. In the past, this took about 15 days to get it to where they could do athletics, but apparently there have been some changes made with the logistics of stuff, which means it can be done in about 4 days. That said, it's thought that the venue would actually be unusable by us for 2 to 3 weeks for the setup, the athletics championships, and then the post arrangement kind of clear up, I suppose, and getting it back to a football stadium side of things to all take place. And 2 to 3 weeks in the world of football is quite a long time to not have a home ground. So how would we work around this? Unless different dates were chosen, this would mean that West Ham would be unable to play home games in that first few weeks of the football season, meaning that the Premier League would have to schedule away fixtures instead. And obviously, if we were in European spots, then it would also be UEFA having to work with us on that as well. Now, this is something that has happened plenty of times for other clubs where they've needed to not have home games, but it's not something that would be easy to agree or to manage because we've got so many other stakeholders. When you look at clubs like Spurs that have had to do this, it's been that they've been able to play somewhere else. And it's mainly Spurs discussing it with Spurs to work out the best option. Whereas obviously we might have quite different interests to what the actual stadium have in terms of hosting athletics there and the City of London and what it would bring to it. So it's something that could put us potentially on the back foot right at the start of the season, which is the biggest concern from a West Ham perspective, because it might mean that we get harder fixtures somewhat as we're trying to get stuck into the 29-30 season. Feels like we're looking into a crystal ball many years in advance, but it might make it difficult because if you haven't got any home games and you're going away constantly and you don't have a good start to the season, it could definitely set you back and knock confidence a little bit because there is the home advantage. Now, while it is a long way away, it is something that's very much going to be spoken about now and worked on immediately because while we managed to avoid getting into humongous debt to fund a stadium like Everton, Spurs, it does come with these challenges. And these are the drawbacks. And they don't, I suppose, appear particularly often where the stadium has to be used for something that really impacts our Premier League season. But this is certainly one of them. And I'm sure the ball will get moving quickly. And once dates are agreed, it's one of those that isn't going to go back. So it is something that's going to have to be resolved as soon as possible. There was a spokesperson for the London Stadium that gave their insights. They said it's early days in the process for 2029 and full details of any bid are to be developed, including potential dates for the event. During this process, we will work closely with all of our stakeholders, including West Ham, to make sure any benefits to the venue, city and country are considered fully alongside all other requirements. So we'll have to see what happens there. My hope is that we can organise it to be outside of the season, so it just works for everyone. But obviously, that is from my point of view, where, if I'm honest, I don't really care for any of the other stakeholders. Just West Ham. Come on, you Irons. For your second story, Dewsbury-Hall, who we have previously been linked with, is reported to be in talks with Fulham, meaning if we did want him, we would have some competition there. It's been announced by Sky Sports News that they're exploring a deal to sign him from Chelsea on both a loan and a permanent deal, exploring both of those options. So this update could make it clearly quite tricky for Kiernan to join our club of double-barreled surnames. Can't speak, tripping over my tongue here. Personally, I would prefer for us to bring in someone more like James McAtee, who today, may I add, has been reported to want to stay in England despite interest from Germany. How is that for a headline within a headline? But let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Excuse me, got thrown off by a baby monitor beeping, on the potential signing of Dewsbury-Hall, or if you have your eyes on another option. Interesting times. And for your final story, ex-West Ham United employee has reported that West Ham have brought former England under-17s, as you can see in this picture, and under-18s coach and Arsenal youth coach Greg Lincoln in as our new head of coaching and player development. Yes, former Arsenal player and coach Greg Lincoln will begin his new role in September, replacing Callum Mooney-Aruck, hope I didn't butcher that name, who will be going off to work with England. So it's a little bit of a switcheroo going on there in a way. So there you have it. Those have been your Hammers headlines for today, Wednesday, 23rd of July. I've been Holly. Thank you so much as always for watching. But let us know your thoughts in the comments. Obviously, the stadium one is a big one because I suppose it reignites the feelings of, is the stadium ours kind of thing that obviously has plagued us since we've moved in there. It's going to be a logistical challenge, no doubt. But hopefully, if it's one where dates can fall in our favour, it's not one that actually needs to impact us as a football team. So we'll have to see what happens there. But if you haven't already, please leave a comment down below with your thoughts. Hit the little like button to let us know you've appreciated the video. And if you're new around here, please subscribe to West Ham Network. We've got so many videos going out on every day. We are covering the latest news, the headlines, the rumours, the stuff that's going on, the signings. We're getting your opinions, and we really want to get this discussion going. So if you haven't already, like I said, drop us a comment and let us know your thoughts on all of the stories and just everything in general going on at West Ham. And if you have any content requests, if there are any specific types of content that you would like to see us cover on the channel, let us know in the comments, because we always want to do what we can to give the fans what we want. So thank you so much, as always, for watching. We appreciate you all so much. Have a great Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week. Catch me soon. And if you haven't already, check out the video from earlier today where we were having a good old chat about all things Callum Wilson and why it's a massive concern, looking at his injury history and under what circumstances a signing of him could work, aka it being basically on a pay-as-you-play with lots of incentives in terms of goals and assists, versus actually signing somebody that is absolutely riddled with injury and doesn't bring much hope. So at the moment, it looks as though we're not overly keen on signing him, which is music to my ears. I suppose the one plus of signing him would be that he couldn't score against us. You never know. Maybe he'd still have it in him and just score on goals all the time. Either way, check out the video from earlier today, because we just ran through everything you need to know about him and got that discussion going right up there in the comments about what people's thoughts were on the potential news that we could even be looking at Callum Wilson. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. Catch up with you later. Till it's time. Come on, you Irons. Irons.